Hey everyone, good morning on this Wednesday. It's so nice to kind of be sitting on here. We had a bad storm last night and it leaves everything so refreshed, and it's a nice way to feel. Had a rough week last week, but made it through. Here I am back again. Really miss my sister-in-law. Such a sweet woman in a stern and no nonsense kind of way. And it got me thinking about, I've been going through a discernment process with the Lord. I've got a lot going on, and I keep saying yes to things, and I keep wondering why I'm saying yes to things, and I keep looking, something's got to go. I got really overwhelmed, and I feel like that through a lot of praying and a lot of trying to find peace in that God was giving me more of, leave some space for me, leave some space to teach you, leave some space to give you the answers, and to let you see where I want you to go. So it's got me thinking about that. Sometimes you just have to leave space. Even in my writing, I've been doing some really deep revising, and when I pull away from that, got my little helper coming over my shoulder there. That's Princess Grace. I'm glad she walked out here so you could see her. So many times she hides when I say she's going to be here. Anyway, I got to thinking about planting. We do some planting at our church, seasonal, and the old plants need to be pulled up and the new plants need to be put in. A lot of them are annuals that are just added to give a nice pop of color for the season. And that's how what I do when I revise. I'm pulling up those old words, and I'm planting new words, and I'm taking that scene and I'm intensifying it, or I'm adding dialogue in there, and I'm pulling away and describing the scene a little better. Or, you gotta throw the plan away and put a new one in there altogether. And that's okay. And I feel like it happens, in our lives when we go through spells. My reading this morning was really pivotal to this message, and it was talking about looking at life through a negative filter. If we have that negative filter, that's going to stir up resentment and harshness in us. That's really not going to serve us. And I think it's human nature. It just happens to everyone to be negative sometimes. So what do you do with that? So I'm going to just give you a short tip that you can do anywhere at any time to help you be at peace. And it's something I've been trying to do for the past couple weeks, and it's been pretty effective. And that's just stop, and listen. Take 3 deep breaths. And I don't mean just, I mean really as much air as you can take in, hold it for a second, and then let it all out. 3 slow times. That will give you such a reset. And it will also help to clear that negativity that might have crept in when you didn't even really know it was there. I can promise you'll do better with revising if that's what you're working on, or even new ideas if you just shift your thinking. And you want to leave that space when you stop and you listen and you breathe. You're opening yourself up to listen, to hear the space. Sometimes when my husband and I are having a conversation, we end up saying to each other, I heard what you said, but I didn't really listen. Will you say it again? And we laugh about it because we've gotten to that level of honesty of, we no longer act like we heard what was said. We really say, I'm sorry. I knew words came out. I heard words there, but I didn't listen to what you were saying. So I think we have to practice that listening too. And this is where, God got with me last week, the week before, of leave space for me to work with you. Leave space for me to come in there and calm you and help you. And boy, things have been better. My revisions have been more sharp and clear. Even things in my life that I can get very down and negative about have become more sharp and clear too. So think about, sometimes it's time to plant. Sometimes it's time to pull up what you planted, put something else in there. You have a lot of power to do that. And I don't want you to ever think that you don't. Quit telling yourself that same old thing of It's just the way I am. I'm too old to change. You can always change. And by the way, I'm up to 35 words per minute with my keyboarding that I did not think I could do all these years. All these years. I believe that. And it was not true. I still got some work to do with it, but wow. Wow. If I can do it, so can you. See you next week.